Lesson 144. By and its many uses. Go past, nearby. Now I will say a sentence and I want you to make a similar sentence with the word by. I saw him going past my house yesterday.
I saw him passing by my house yesterday.
Henry sat alone in the room.
Henry sat in the room by himself.
Henry did the translation without help.
Henry did the translation by himself.
Cats prefer to hunt during the night.
Cats prefer to hunt by night.
My sister was the painter of this picture.
This picture was painted by my sister.
Is it correct to say the man lived in a near town?
No, it isn't correct to say the man lived in a near town.
What must we say instead?
We must say the man lived in a nearby town instead.
In season, out of season. Are apples in season or out of season at the moment?
Apples are out of season at the moment.
Thread, needle, sew, compass, injection. What am I pretending to do?
You're pretending to thread a piece of cotton through the eye of a needle.
About how long does a thread of cotton have to be to sew a button on a shirt?
A thread of cotton has to be about 20 centimetres long to sew a button on a shirt.
What other kinds of needles are there besides sewing needles?
Besides sewing needles, there are compass needles, injection needles, etc.
Agent. Agency. Why do professional actors have agents?
Professional actors have agents to help them find suitable work.
When you go on holiday, do you prefer to let a travel agency deal with everything for you, or do you prefer to make all your arrangements yourself?
When I go on holiday, I prefer to make all my arrangements myself.
Title. Champion. Boxer. What was the title of the last book you read?
The title of the last book I read was Cider with Rosie.
Who at present holds the title of World Heavyweight Champion Boxer?
At present, Vladimir Klitschko holds the title of World Heavyweight Champion Boxer.
Enormous. Would it cause enormous problems if all the traffic lights in this town suddenly stopped working?
Yes, it'd cause enormous problems if all the traffic lights in this town suddenly stopped working.
Belief. Do you think that religious belief is increasing in the world generally or becoming less important?
I think that religious belief is becoming less important in the world generally.
Effort. Stay in touch with. Is it an effort for you to get up in the morning?
No, it isn't an effort for me to get up in the morning.
Do you make an effort to stay in touch with any of the people you used to go to school with?
Yes, I make an effort to stay in touch with some of the people I used to go to school with.
Tolerate. If you lived next to an airport, do you think you'd be able to tolerate the noise of the planes?
No, if I lived next to an airport, I don't think I'd be able to tolerate the noise of the planes.
Go ahead. Just the same. When you were a child and your parents forbade you to do something, did you used to go ahead and do it just the same?
Yes, when I was a child and my parents forbade me to do something, I used to go ahead and do it just the same.
What were the consequences?
The consequences were that I was sent to bed early.
Bath. Bathe. Sunbathe. What's the difference between bath and bathe?
The difference between bath and bathe is that bath is generally used as a noun, whereas bathe is generally used as a verb.
Why do people sometimes bathe their eyes?
People sometimes bathe their eyes because they have something in their eyes that is causing irritation or because their eyes feel tired.
Do you enjoy sunbathing?
Yes, I enjoy sunbathing.
Cheat. What do you think ought to happen when a student is caught cheating in an exam?
When a student is caught cheating in an exam, I think they should be sent out of the room, etc.
Can you name me a well-known cheat from the world of sport or politics?
Yes, I can name you a well-known cheat from the world of sport.
Who?
A cricketer called Salman Butt.
Dip. Horizon. Horizontal. Do you think it's bad manners to dip biscuits into a cup of tea or coffee?
No, I don't think it's bad manners to dip biscuits into a cup of tea or coffee.
What's my hand doing?
Your hand's moving in a horizontal direction, then suddenly dipping and coming up again.
Does the sun rise over the horizon in the east or the west?
The sun rises over the horizon in the east.
Feed, fed, fed. If a dog sits looking at you while you're eating a meal, do you feed it while you're eating, or do you leave a little bit of food on your plate and feed it to the dog after you've finished?
If a dog sits looking at me while I'm eating a meal, I leave a little bit of food on my plate and feed it to the dog after I've finished.
Hay, straw, stem. What's the difference between hay and straw?
The difference between hay and straw is that hay is dried grass, whereas straw is the stems of wheat or other types of corn after it has been cut.
The possessive apostrophe. When do we use the apostrophe to communicate possession?
We generally use the apostrophe to communicate possession for people or animals.
Give me some examples, please.
Stephen's house, the dog's nose.
How do we generally communicate possession for things?
We generally communicate possession for things by using the word of.
Give me an example, please.
The streets of London, the peace of the countryside.
Idiom 45. The last straw equals the last of several bad things that have happened, which makes you realize you cannot stand a situation anymore. What does the idiom, the last straw, mean?
The idiom, the last straw, means the last of several bad things that have happened, which makes you realize you cannot stand a situation anymore.
Give me an example, please.
After all the other difficulties we'd had with the house, the problem with the heating system was the last straw.
Development.